Welcome to English with Abby and Torai. I'm Abby, and today we will talk about some confusing questions in the English language. And the reason these questions are confusing is maybe because of how they are worded, but mostly they are confusing because of the meaning of the question. And these questions are used very commonly in the English language. If you speak to a native English speaker, they will 99% of the time use one of these questions. They will use one of these questions for sure. So the first one is, what do you do? What do you do? If someone asks you this question, they are most likely asking you about your job or about your profession. They would say, oh, what do you do? And you would tell them, like I would say, oh, I am a teacher. What do you do? This is asking about your job or your profession, but it could be confused with them just asking what you do in general or maybe what you are doing right now. But this question, what do you do, means they are asking about your job or your profession. The next confusing question is, how are you? And it may not seem confusing, but this question is a very common greeting if you are seeing someone you know well, or maybe meeting someone for the first time. You would say, oh, hi, how are you? Generally, when someone asks you this question, they're not really concerned about how you actually are. So the most common answer to this question is good. I'm good. How are you? Or they would say, hi, how are you? And I would say, oh, hi, I'm good. And they're not generally or genuinely wondering how you're doing. It's just a common greeting question. The next is, do you mind? And then there'll be another part to the question they would add on. But if someone asks, for example, do you mind closing the window? Do you mind handing me my notebook? This do you mind, the meaning of it would use or would have a yes or no answer, like, yes, I do mind. I'm not doing that. But usually, if someone asks or says, do you mind handing me my notebook? You would just do it and not say, like, yes, I do mind, but say, no, I don't mind, and then hand them the notebook. It's kind of a polite way of asking someone to do something for you. The next confusing question is, can you tell me what time it is? This would be if someone asks you what time it is. If they say, can you tell me what time it is? They're not asking if you literally are able to tell the time. They just want to know what time it is. And so this is how they would ask what time it is. The last one that is confusing is, what are you up to? What are you up to? That could mean what you are doing in that moment. It could mean what you are up to in life lately. Depends on the person, depends on the context of the situation. And so each of these questions are confusing in their own way, and they are all questions that native English speakers use a lot, and you might hear in greetings or just kind of in passing, and they can be confusing in their meaning. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, you can like or comment and ask questions or have other thoughts you might have about the English language.